Hi, welcome to Folk and Fairy Tales. I'm Miss Debbie from the Morton Grove Public Library, and today's fairy tale is Goldi and the Three Bears. Folk and fairy tales. So, what makes a fairy tale? Folk tales comes from many different countries and cultures, and fairies seem to mean that there's some magic involved. But there are no fairies in Goldilocks and the Three Bears. So not all fairy tales have to have a fairy. They are always set usually in the past, sometimes in a faraway place, and they start with once upon a time. I have my little clipboard. I love lists, but they do have some make-believe. So listen as I read the story and see if you can find those elements of make-believe. There's usually a good character and a bad, evil, or naughty character. There are objects that come in threes, like three bears, three pigs, three suns, three tasks, like, slay a dragon and go pick a golden apple and, things they have to do before they can marry the princess. There's usually a conflict that needs to be solved and a resolution, and almost always they teach a lesson. So let's read Goldilocks and the Three Bears, retold and illustrated by Valeri Gorbachev. This particular version is published by North South Books. And there we have, I'm going to move this over, the Three Bears going on a little walk. Once upon a time. Aha! Once upon a time, there were three bears who lived together in a little cottage in the woods. There was a great big papa bear, a middle-sized mama bear, and a wee small baby bear. One morning, the three bears decided to go for a walk in the woods while their breakfast porridge was cooling. While they were gone, a little girl named Goldilocks came past their cottage. She peeked in the window, and when she saw that no one was home, she went inside. There on the table sat the three bowls of porridge. The porridge smelled so delicious that Goldilocks just had to have some. First, she tried the porridge in the great big father bear's great big bowl, but it was too hot. Next, she tried the porridge in the middle-sized mother bear's middle-sized bowl, but it was too cold. Then she tried the porridge in the wee small baby bear's wee small bowl, and it was just right. So she ate it all up. When she had finished the porridge, Goldilocks wandered into the sitting room, where she found the three bears' chairs. First, she tried the great big father bear's great big chair, but it was too hard. Next, she tried the middle-sized mama bear's middle-sized chair, but it was too soft. Then she tried the wee small baby bear's wee small chair, and it was just right. So Goldilocks sat down in the chair, and it broke it all to bits. Then Goldilocks went upstairs, where she found the three bears' beds. First, great big bed, but it was too hard. Next, she tried the middle-sized mama bear's middle size, but it was too soft. Then she tried the wee small baby bear's wee small bed, and it was just right. So Goldilocks lay down and fell fast asleep. No sooner had Goldilocks fallen asleep than the three bears returned home. Their walk had made them very hungry, so they hurried right into the kitchen. Goldilocks had left the spoon in the great big father bear's porridge. "Someone has been eating my porridge," said the great big father bear. The middle-sized mother bear saw that the spoon had been left in her bowl of porridge, too. "Someone has been eating my porridge," said the middle-sized mother bear in her middle-sized voice. Then the wee small baby bear looked at the bowl of porridge. "Someone has been eating my porridge," cried the wee small baby bear. "And they've eaten it all up." The three bears hurried into the sitting room. Goldilocks had knocked the pillow off the great big father bear's chair. "Someone has been sitting in my chair," said the great big father bear in his great big voice. The pillow on the middle-sized mother bear's chair had been moved too. "Someone has been sitting in my chair," said the middle-sized mother in her middle-sized voice. Then the wee small baby bear looked at his chair. "Someone has been sitting in my chair," cried the wee small baby bear in his wee small voice. "And they've broken it to bits." And then the three bears went upstairs. Goldilocks had messed up the covers on the great big father bear's bed. "Someone has been sleeping in my bed," said the great big father bear in his great big voice. The covers on the middle-sized mother bear's bed had been messed up too. "Someone has been sleeping in my bed," said the middle-sized mother bear in her middle-sized voice. Then the wee small baby bear looked at his bed. "Someone has been sleeping in my bed," said this wee small baby bear in his wee small voice. "And here she is!" Goldilocks woke with a start. She leaped out of bed, jumped through the window, clambered down the roof, and ran away as fast as she could go. What happened to Goldilocks afterward? No one knows. The three bears never saw her again, and they happily ever after in their cottage. Did you see the make-believe in that? Living in a house, eating porridge out of bowls, bears that talk. Yeah. Some very smart boys and girls told me that just the other day. This story ends, and Goldilocks is never seen again. But I have 3 versions that make believe that Goldilocks stuck around. And in this one, it's called Eat Your Vegetables, Goldilocks. Goldilocks learns to like her vegetables. Here's one where the 3 bears are so mad at someone breaking into their house that they go after her. The name of this book is Beware of the Bears. Here's a version where Goldilocks is all grown up. She's not a girl anymore. As a matter of fact, she goes by Goldi. And she feels so bad about breaking into the Three Bears' house that she tries to make amends. Can you imagine what she does? Read the book and find out. So, I have some more versions of this story to read, and I'm going to pick one. But before that, let's get up and do some moving. Ready? Up we go. Up, 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 up. And around to this side of the room. This is a song by Pam Duncan. And let's see. Can you see my legs right here? All right, I'm just going to show you the motions and then we'll stand up and do it. Watch me and follow along. And you can point. You can point this way. You can point to your friend. You can point to me. But it goes hand, hand, shoulder, shoulder, leg, leg, clap, point, point. Hand, hand, shoulder, shoulder, leg, leg, point, point. All right. And here's how the song goes. Oops, I'm going to make this a little taller. Ready? Try it again. Ready? Hand, hand, shoulder, shoulder, leg, leg. These are the things I like to do, and I like to do them with you. March, 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 I like to march, march with you. March, 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 I like to march, march with you. March, 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 big march. March, 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 big march. These are the things I like to do, and I like to do them with you. Jump. Ready to jump? Jump, 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 I like to jump, jump and jump. Jump, 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 I like to jump, jump with you. Jump, 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 big jump. Jump, 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 big jump. The things I like to do, and I like to do them with you. Can we make an X? X, 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 I draw an X with my hand, other hand. X, 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 I draw an X with my hand, both hands. X, 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 big X. X, 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 big X. These are the things I like to do, and I like to do them with you. Ready? For another story? Okay. And we're back with our three bears. Did you see my three bears? They like it when we read these stories. This one is called Goatilocks and the Three Bears. Instead of a little girl, we have a goat. This one says, Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Here's the Three Bears, and there's Goldilocks. And you can imagine she becomes part of their rock and roll band. But the version I want to read to you is Goldilocks and the Three Dinosaurs. This is by Mo Willems. And you can see from the end papers that he had a hard time deciding what version he wanted to do. It says Goldilocks and the Three Oak Trees, Goldilocks and the Three Lions, Goldilocks and the Three Naked Mole Rats, Goldilocks and the Three Puppies, and on and on and on. Even Goldilocks and the Three Robots. This is published by Balzer and Bray. And there's Goldilocks. Uh-oh. Those are not trees. What do you think they are? Dinosaurs. Once upon a time, there were 3 dinosaurs. Papa Dinosaur, Mama Dinosaur, and some other dinosaur who happened to be visiting from Norway. Home sweet dinosaur home. One day, for no particular reason, the three dinosaurs made up their beds, positioned their chairs just so, and cooked 3 bowls of delicious chocolate pudding at varying temperatures. Oh boy, said Papa Bear in his loud, booming voice. It's finally time to leave and go to someplace else. Yes, continued Mama Dinosaur. I sure hope no innocent little succulent child happens by our unlocked home while we are someplace else. Ha 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 ha! Then the other dinosaur made a loud noise that sounded like a big evil laugh, but was probably just a polite Norwegian expression. The 3 dinosaurs went someplace else and were definitely not hiding in the woods waiting for an unsuspecting kid to come by. Sure enough, 5 minutes later, a poorly supervised little girl named Goldilocks came traipsing by. Do 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 do. Just then the forest boomed with what could have been a dinosaur yelling, "Gotcha!" But I'm pretty sure it was just the wind. The loud sound was immediately followed by another loud sound that sounded kind of like, "Be patient, dinosaur. The trap is not yet sprung." But that could have been a rock falling, or a squirrel. Either way, Goldilocks was not the type of little girl who listened to anyone or anything. For example, about the dangers of barging into strange, enormous houses. So, as soon as Goldilocks came across a strange, enormous house, she barged right in. Inside, Goldilocks immediately smelled the 3 bowls of delicious chocolate pudding. Said Goldilocks. That chocolate smells delicious. If only I could get all the way up to the top of that counter. Then Goldilocks noticed a very tall ladder that just happened to be there and certainly wasn't left there on purpose. Goldilocks climbed up the ladder and found herself face to face with 3 gigantic bowls of chocolate pudding. The first bowl of chocolate pudding was too hot, but Goldilocks ate it all anyway. It's chocolate pudding, right? The second bowl of chocolate pudding was too cold, but who cares about temperature when you've got a big bowl of... Not her. The third bowl of chocolate pudding was just right, but Goldilocks was on such a roll by now, she hardly noticed. Soon Goldilocks was stuffed like one of those delicious chocolate-filled little girl bonbons, which, by the way, are totally not the favorite thing in the whole world for hungry dinosaurs. The first chair was too tall. The second chair was too tall. But the third chair was too tall. Goldilocks wasn't going to climb that high just to sit in some chair, so she hiked over to the bedroom. When she got there, Goldilocks noticed that the beds were also gigantically big. "What is going on around here?" groaned the exhausted girl. The bears that live here must be nuts." Just then the room filled with a loud booming noise that was either a passing truck or a dinosaur gloating. "A few more minutes and she'll be asleep. Delicious chocolate-filled little girl bonbons are yummier when they're rested." Even a little girl who never listens to anyone or anything had to hear that. Goldilocks took a minute to stop and think, which was longer than she was used to stopping and thinking. "Hey," she told herself, "this isn't some bear's house. This is some dinosaur's house." Say what you like about Goldilocks, but she was no fool. As quickly as she could, she ran to the back door and got out of there. Just then a loud plane flew by, which sounded pretty much like a trio of dinosaurs yelling "now" or "charge" or some Norwegian expression for chewy bonbon time. Suddenly and completely coincidentally, the 3 dinosaurs rushed through the front door, but they were too late. Goldilocks was gone, and all that was left in the house were 3 very disappointed dinosaurs. The end. Do you suppose this story has? You would be right. And the moral is, if you ever find yourself in the wrong story, leave. There's the 3 bears. And the moral for the dinosaurs is, lock the back door. That's how she got away. Well, I hope you have time to talk more about folk and fairy tales and about how this story and this story were alike and how they were different. See you next time.